The midterm election and the nasty campaign period which preceded it shows American politics to be more and more polarized. What happened to the vast middle ground where lawmakers could compromise and find ways to get things done? We really don't know. Moderates from both parties are forming a new centrist movement. Our Brian Todd has been looking into that. And, you know, I guess the cynics ask, can this work? Can it happen?
A lot of cynics are asking that right now, Suzanne, and their answer is an unequivocal yes. They believe the time is ripe for it right now. This movement called No Labels is playing right to that vast middle ground that Suzanne mentioned, that huge part of the voting public that's fed up with the extremes of the Tea Party on the right and MoveOn.org on the left. They say the partisanship that the president once thought we could get past has unfortunately come roaring back.
Remember that first week after he was elected?
I'm going to go in there with a spirit of bipartisanship.
That spirit wouldn't take hold.
We are going to take back our country.
There were soon angry partisan rallies from activist groups on the right, like the Tea Party, and on the left, like MoveOn.org.
We cannot back down.
In the government, partisan vitriol from Republicans and Democrats alike.
It's Republicans wrapping their arms around Republicans rather than doing the right thing on behalf of the heroes. It is a shame, a shame.
Entertaining political theater, but there are many observers, analysts, columnists, current and former politicians who are openly worried that with the new momentum from the Tea Party and other Republicans in Congress, and with left-leaning Democrats hunkering down on that side and putting more pressure on President Obama, some crucial problems like reducing the deficit, maybe even in time to avoid a government shutdown in 2011, won't get solved.
Now, a new movement targeting the middle of American politics is mobilizing. It's called No Labels, made up of centrist Democrats and Republicans, many of them political strategists, who say they want to pressure the parties to work together to tackle crises like the deficit, unemployment, immigration. John Cowan, who served in the Clinton administration, is one of the founding members.
What demographic of voters are you targeting? Who has been left out of the latest political struggle in America?
In American politics right now, mostly the far left and the far right dominate the debate on the airwaves, on television, in town halls. That's who you see yelling the loudest, demanding change. We're organizing the other 70% of the electorate.
But Cowan and others in No Labels tell us this is not a third party. Either way, centrist movements in American politics don't have the best track record.
What is the movement up against at this point?
What the movement is up against is a very polarized situation. The media basically covers liberals and conservatives. Much of the campaign finance comes from the two extremes, and so that will be their biggest challenge.
New York's independent mayor Michael Bloomberg has been linked to the group and is invited to speak at their launch in New York on December 13th. A Bloomberg aide introduced the two founders of No Labels.
But No Labels leaders tell us this is not the stalking horse for a Michael Bloomberg presidential run. They say they're getting no money or other resources from Bloomberg. But one No Labels founder told me if Bloomberg runs, there's a good chance the group would support him. We got no response from Mayor Bloomberg's office, Suzanne.
And Brian, I understand that this kind of movement has been tried before in Congress but hasn't worked out so well.
That's right. There was a movement in Congress. I talked to two former congressmen who were part of this. It was called the Bipartisan Congressional Retreat. They would get Democrats and Republicans together every couple of years for a retreat with their families. They say it started out well, then attendance dropped, and it kind of fizzled out in 2003. Just a series of partisan attacks, and people just figured they couldn't work with each other anymore. That tends to be what happens in this town when that kind of thing happens. We're going to see how No Labels does. If Bloomberg gets behind it, it may get some power, but they're saying he's not a part of it right now.
Okay, we'll see how that shakes out. Thank you, Brian.
Sure.
Very interesting. CNN